Have you ever wondered why Ripple never talks about the real reason behind XRP's design? Because somewhere, hidden beneath the noise, lawsuits, and speculation, lies a $37 trillion plan that could rewrite the very foundation of global finance. And no, this isn't a conspiracy. This is a system quietly being built right under our noses. But here's the catch. Ripple isn't openly telling you everything. And that's exactly why most investors will miss it. So today, we're pulling the curtain back. We're breaking down the real XRP blueprint, the one that connects Ripple to a $37 trillion opportunity hiding inside global payments. And no, you don't need a tinfoil hat for this one, just an open mind and maybe a cup of coffee, because this gets deep. Before we dive in, let's remind ourselves why XRP exists in the first place. When Ripple Labs launched XRP, they weren't trying to create another Bitcoin or Ethereum. They wanted to build a bridge asset, something that could link every currency, every bank, and every payment system on Earth seamlessly. But to understand why that's worth $37 trillion, we have to go back to the problem XRP was designed to fix. Every single day, over $37 trillion moves around the globe through the SWIFT system. And yet, it's slow, outdated, and expensive. Money moves like it's 1975, not 2025. If you send $10,000 from the US to Japan, it can take 3 to 5 days to settle, with fees slicing off your balance every step of the way. Now multiply that by millions of transactions, and you'll see the massive inefficiency Ripple saw years ago. So, Ripple's founders asked a question so bold, most banks laughed at them. What if we could move money the same way we move information? That idea birthed XRP, a digital asset designed for instant liquidity and near zero fees, the opposite of SWIFT. But this is where things get interesting, because Ripple didn't just want to compete with SWIFT, they wanted to replace it. And quietly, behind closed doors, they've been building the infrastructure to do exactly that. But here's the secret most people miss. Ripple's $37 trillion plan isn't about banks switching overnight. It's about integration, step by step, until the old system fades out. You see, Ripple's true strategy is hiding in plain sight, in partnerships, pilot programs, and neutral network talks with institutions that manage trillions. Over 400 financial institutions, including giants like Santander, Bank of America, and Standard Chartered, have quietly tested or integrated Ripple's technology. But the real magic isn't just the partnerships. It's the burn rate and liquidity architecture behind XRP that makes this all possible. XRP's total supply started at 100 billion coins, but every single transaction destroys a tiny fraction of XRP forever. That means the more the network grows, the smaller the supply becomes. And that's where the potential shockwave begins. Imagine this. As global adoption scales, billions of XRP could be burned, driving supply lower while demand surges through international utility. That's not just speculation, it's mathematics. And Ripple? They've designed it that way from the start. Now don't get me wrong, it's not like tomorrow you'll wake up and see XRP at $1,000 a coin. If that happens, I'll personally send you a framed screenshot of this video saying you were right. But the truth is far more powerful and far more real. Right now, the biggest banks are already preparing. They're integrating RippleNet under the banner of faster payments without ever mentioning XRP publicly. Why? Because adoption doesn't always start with a press release. It starts in silence, with quiet integration, testing, and compliance. That's why Ripple doesn't talk much. They don't have to. Now here's where it gets serious, because when the financial reset toward ISO 2022 completes, Ripple and XRP will already be woven into the fabric of the global system. By the time the world realizes what happened, the shift will already be complete. And this brings us to the heart of Ripple's $37 trillion plan, ODL, on-demand liquidity. On-demand liquidity allows banks to use XRP as a bridge between currencies. No more holding foreign reserves. No more waiting days for cross-border settlement. It's the ultimate equalizer. And while most investors focus on XRP's price, the real power lies in the volume. Trillions of dollars in liquidity that could flow through XRP. Every transaction burns XRP, reducing total supply and strengthening long-term scarcity. That's the system Ripple built, quietly, methodically, and strategically. Now, if you truly understand how these financial shifts happen, you know timing is everything, and that's where BTCC comes in. BTCC is one of the oldest and most trusted crypto exchanges, built for traders who don't just watch the revolution, they participate in it. If you want to grow your portfolio while the world catches up to XRP's real value, you can sign up through the link below, grab your bonus, and start trading today. Because wealth doesn't wait for headlines. It rewards those who act before the crowd does. Let's fast forward for a moment. Imagine a world where XRP isn't a cryptocurrency. It's the universal liquidity layer of global payments. Banks move money instantly. Corporations settle trades in seconds. And governments use tokenized assets that all connect through one bridge, XRP. This isn't a fantasy. It's the next logical step of digital finance. Now think about it. SWIFT's outdated system still processes around $5 trillion a day. If Ripple captures even a fraction of that volume, the effects on XRP's value would be staggering. That's the $37 trillion opportunity Ripple is positioning for. But there's something Ripple still isn't telling you. They're not just building for banks. They're preparing for governments. The next phase of this revolution is CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. And Ripple is already consulting with over 20 central banks worldwide. Coincidence? Hardly. The same infrastructure that powers ODL can power CBDCs. Meaning, when central banks finally flip the switch, XRP could be the neutral bridge that links them all. And that's the part nobody's talking about, not even Ripple. So the next time someone says XRP is dead, ask them, then why are central banks meeting with Ripple behind closed doors? Exactly. At this point, we're not talking about if the world moves to XRP's model. We're talking about when. The financial system is evolving faster than ever before, and those who understand the bridge before it's built are the ones who will cross it first. So, while the noise continues, lawsuits, FUD, and disbelief, remember this: the smartest money moves quietly. Ripple's silence isn't hesitation, it's preparation. And when that $37 trillion tidal wave finally moves, you'll want to be positioned, not watching from the sidelines. If this video opened your eyes, you need to see what happens next. Banks are choosing XRP over SWIFT, where I reveal how major institutions are already making the switch without public attention. Because once you see what's happening behind the scenes, you'll realize the XRP story is only just beginning.